The issue of a fluorescent light fixture that closes at the end until touched suggests several potential causes. These include loose electrical connections, a faulty starter, a weak or damaged bulb, or a faulty ballast. Firstly, you should check the lamp holders, ballast, and wiring for any loose connections. Loose connections can cause intermittent power loss to the lamp, resulting in the described glowing effect. Inspect all electrical connections, ensuring they are secure. Tighten any loose wires or screws. Secondly, the starter is a small device that aids the lamp in starting. If you suspect a faulty starter, disconnect the fixture from power and replace the starter with the same type as the original. Weak or damaged bulbs may have reduced starting voltage, making it harder for them to ignite. If replacing the starter does not resolve the problem, try replacing the bulb. Select a bulb with the same wattage and type as the original. The ballast regulates the electrical current to the lamp. A faulty ballast can provide insufficient voltage or current to start the lamp. Use a ballast tester to test the ballast. Replace the ballast if found to be faulty. Remember, safety is paramount. Always disconnect the fixture from power before working on it. If the lamp is flickering, it may indicate a faulty ballast or bulb. Avoid touching the lamp while it is glowing, as this can damage the lamp and pose a safety hazard. If you're uncomfortable or unfamiliar with electrical work, consult a qualified electrician. Now let's delve deeper into each of these potential issues. Regarding loose electrical connections, thoroughly examine each connection point within the fixture. This includes the connections at the lamp holders, the ballast terminals, and any wire splices within the fixture housing. Use a screwdriver to ensure all screws are tightened securely, but avoid over-tightening, which could damage the screw threads or the wire itself. Gently tug on each wire to confirm it is firmly seated in its connector. If you find any corroded or damaged wires, replace them. When addressing the starter, understand that its function is to preheat the lamp's electrodes and provide a voltage surge to initiate the arc. A faulty starter may fail to provide sufficient preheating or the necessary voltage surge. When replacing the starter, ensure the new starter is compatible with the lamp and ballast. Check the starter's packaging for compatibility information. When dealing with a weak or damaged bulb, consider that over time, the electrodes within the bulb can degrade, reducing their ability to emit electrons and initiate the arc. Additionally, the gas within the bulb can leak or become contaminated, affecting its conductivity. When selecting a replacement bulb, pay attention to the bulb's color temperature and color rendering index or CRI to ensure it provides the desired light quality. Color temperature is measured in Kelvin and indicates the warmth or coolness of the light. The CRI measures how accurately the bulb renders colors compared to natural sunlight. As for the ballast, it's important to understand its role in regulating the current and voltage supplied to the lamp. Different types of ballasts exist, including magnetic ballasts and electronic ballasts. Magnetic ballasts are older and less efficient, while electronic ballasts are more energy efficient and provide more stable light output. If you suspect a faulty ballast, use a ballast tester to measure its output voltage and current. Compare these measurements to the ballast specifications to determine if it is functioning correctly. When replacing the ballast, choose a ballast that is compatible with the lamp type and voltage. Consider upgrading to an electronic ballast for improved energy efficiency and performance. To further diagnose the problem, you can use a multimeter to measure the voltage at the lamp holders with the switch turned on. A healthy fluorescent fixture should have a voltage close to the rated voltage of the lamp, typically 120 volts in installations. If the voltage is significantly lower than this, it could indicate a problem with the wiring, ballast, or other components. Also, examine the lamp holders themselves for any signs of damage or corrosion. Corroded lamp holders can create poor electrical contact, hindering the lamp's ability to start. Clean the lamp holder contacts with a wire brush or contact cleaner if necessary. Consider the age of the fixture itself. Older fixtures may have degraded wiring, insulation, corroded components, or other issues that can contribute to starting problems. In some cases, it may be more cost-effective to replace the entire fixture rather than attempting to repair it. Furthermore, consider the environmental conditions in which the fixture is operating. Fluorescent lamps can be more difficult to start in cold temperatures. If the fixture is located in an unheated area, such as a garage or shed, the cold temperature may be contributing to the starting problem. In such cases, consider using a cold weather ballast or a different type of lighting that is less sensitive to temperature. Check the wiring connections in the junction box where the fixture is connected to the building's electrical system. Loose or corroded connections in the junction box can also cause voltage drops and starting problems. Ensure all wire connectors are properly tightened and that there are no signs of corrosion. If you find any damaged or corroded wiring, replace it with new wiring of the appropriate gauge. When working with electrical wiring, always use proper safety precautions, including wearing safety glasses and using insulated tools. Also, be aware of the potential for arc flash, which can occur when working with energized electrical circuits. Arc flash can cause severe burns and other injuries. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to consult a qualified electrician. Be aware of the different types of fluorescent lamps and ballasts. There are several types of fluorescent lamps, including T12, T8, and T5 lamps. Each type of lamp has different dimensions, light output, and energy efficiency. Similarly, there are several types of ballasts, including magnetic, electronic, and dimming ballasts. When replacing a lamp or ballast, be sure to use a compatible replacement. Consider the energy efficiency of the fluorescent fixture. Fluorescent lamps are generally more energy efficient than incandescent lamps, but they are less energy efficient than LED lamps. If you are looking to save energy, consider replacing your fluorescent fixtures with LED fixtures. LED fixtures are more energy efficient, last longer, and provide better light quality than fluorescent fixtures. Keep in mind the disposal of fluorescent lamps. Fluorescent lamps contain mercury, which is a hazardous material. When disposing of fluorescent lamps, be sure to follow local regulations for proper disposal. Many retailers that sell fluorescent lamps also offer recycling services. If you are unsure of how to properly dispose of fluorescent lamps, contact your local waste management agency for assistance. Think about the lighting control system used with the fluorescent fixture. If the fixture is controlled by a dimmer switch, be sure that the dimmer switch is compatible with the ballast. Some dimmer switches are not compatible with electronic ballasts and can cause the ballast to fail. If you are using a dimmer switch, check the ballast specifications to ensure that it is compatible with the dimmer switch. Contemplate the use of occupancy sensors. Occupancy sensors can automatically turn off the lights when a room is unoccupied, saving energy. If you are looking to save energy, consider installing occupancy sensors to control your fluorescent fixtures. Occupancy sensors are available in a variety of types, including infrared, ultrasonic, and dual technology sensors. Review the building's electrical system to make sure that it can handle the load of the fluorescent fixtures. If the building's electrical system is overloaded, it can cause the fixtures to flicker or fail. If you are unsure of whether the building's electrical system can handle the load of the fluorescent fixtures, consult a qualified electrician. Observe the fixture's grounding. A properly grounded fixture is less likely to cause electrical shocks or fires. Ensure that the fixture is properly grounded to the building's electrical system. If you are unsure of how to properly ground the fixture, consult a qualified electrician. Reflect on the use of surge protectors. Surge protectors can protect the fluorescent fixtures from damage caused by power surges. If you live in an area that is prone to power surges, consider installing surge protectors to protect your fixtures. Surge protectors are available in a variety of types, including whole house surge protectors and plug-in surge protectors. Investigate the fixture's ventilation. If the fixture is not properly ventilated, it can overheat and fail. Make sure that the fixture is properly ventilated to prevent it from overheating. If the fixture is installed in an enclosed space, consider adding ventilation to this space. Consider the impact of voltage fluctuations. Voltage fluctuations can damage the ballast and cause the lamp to fail. If you experience frequent voltage fluctuations, consider installing a voltage regulator to protect your fixtures. Voltage regulators are available in a variety of types, including automatic voltage regulators and constant voltage transformers. Appraise the use of a power conditioner. Power conditioners can filter out noise and interference from the electrical system, improving the performance of the fluorescent fixtures. If you are experiencing problems with flickering or humming, consider installing a power conditioner to improve the quality of the power supplied to the fixtures. Scrutinize the ballast temperature rating. The ballast temperature rating indicates the maximum temperature at which the ballast can operate safely. If the ballast is operating at a temperature that exceeds its temperature rating, it can overheat and fail. Ensure that the ballast is installed in a location where it will not be exposed to excessive heat. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electrical equipment. If you are not comfortable performing any of these troubleshooting steps, consult a qualified electrician. It's also crucial to adhere to all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Local codes may have specific requirements for the installation and maintenance of fluorescent lighting fixtures. Contact your local building department for more information on electrical codes and regulations. Another factor to consider is the quality of the replacement parts. When replacing a ballast, starter, or lamp, always use high-quality replacement parts from a reputable manufacturer. Cheap or poorly made replacement parts may not perform as well and may fail prematurely. Before beginning any work on the fluorescent fixture, turn off the power to the circuit at the circuit breaker panel. This will prevent electrical shock. Use a voltage tester to confirm that the power is off before touching any wires or component. When working with wiring, use wire strippers to remove the insulation from the wires. Avoid using a knife or other sharp object, as this can damage the wires. When connecting wires, use wire connectors that are appropriate for the size and type of wire being used. Ensure that the wire connectors are properly tightened to prevent loose connections. After completing the repairs, turn the power back on at the circuit breaker panel and test the fixture to ensure that it is working properly. If the fixture still does not work, recheck your work and consult a qualified electrician. The information provided is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. If you are unsure of how to safely troubleshoot or repair a fluorescent lighting fixture, consult a qualified electrician. It is also wise to document your troubleshooting steps and any repairs that you make. This will help you to remember what you have done and will also be useful if you need to consult a qualified electrician. Always keep a flashlight handy when working on electrical equipment. A flashlight will help you to see clearly in dark areas. Use caution when working around water. Water can conduct electricity and can cause electrical shock. Avoid working on electrical equipment in wet or damp conditions. Wear rubber-soled shoes when working on electrical equipment. Rubber-soled shoes will help to insulate you from electrical shock. Use a ladder that is in good condition. A damaged ladder can cause you to fall and be injured. Before using a ladder, inspect it for any signs of damage. Do not use a ladder that is wet or slippery. Keep the work area clean and free of clutter. Clutter can create a tripping hazard. Dispose of any waste materials properly. Do not leave waste materials lying around. Always be aware of your surroundings when working on electrical equipment. Be aware of any potential hazards, such as overhead power lines. If you are working outdoors, be aware of the weather conditions. Avoid working on electrical equipment in windy or rainy conditions. By following these safety precautions, you can reduce the risk of electrical shock and other injuries.